invite our guest of honor, Dr. Shubhranshu Acharya, to address all of us.
Madam Myra Widlono, Chairperson Indonesia Natural Dye and Fiber Organization, Government of Indonesia. Mr. S.M. Jalur Rahman, Vice President, World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises. Sri S. Chopra, S. Arya, Founder and CEO, I Am Khadi Foundation. Dr. Glory Swarupa, Director General of NIMSME, Ministry of MSME. And Dr. Ajit Kumar Nigam, CEO and Director, NIFT Foundation. The guests from various countries, members from the industry, ladies and gentlemen. Gives me an immense pleasure to be here amongst all of you. I am based at New Delhi, but I came specifically for attending this to be amongst all of you. In fact, some of the points I'll not take much of your time. Very quickly, I'll just reflect upon some of the points already that has been covered. Definitely, the innovation is something that is the need of the hour, but at the same time, sometimes I feel, in fact, in some of the conferences and the sidelines you have discussed, possibly, when we call textile and club both handloom and powerloom, possibly the handloom sector doesn't get the kind of policy attention that it deserves, because it shifts, the policy focus shifts somewhere else. So there is a need for possibly renewed focus on handloom, and I'm happy that I Am Khadi is organizing this, focusing on the handloom sector. See, sometimes when we call handloom, there are a gamut of handloom sector. I'll just talk about some of the very peculiar examples and learnings from the clusters that we have worked on. SIDBI has been working very closely with the MSMEs on the field. And recently, we made one intervention, a small intervention under our project care in Delhi, Jari cluster. There is a Jari cluster in Delhi. And we sat with the ladies who actually, indulge in the Jari work. And in 2-3 settings, what happens is when you talk to them, stakeholder consultation is very, very important, and you have to sit on the floor and amongst the ladies to understand what exactly goes on and to make the right kind of intervention. See, there are so many things that was coming out of our discussion, but the one thing that really touched us was, I don't think anybody would even imagine, we didn't know that even if that could also be a requirement. You see, many of the ladies complained because, though they do this Jari work, very, very, it is strenuous to the eyes, they lose their eyesight very, very soon, sooner than later. So they asked us if we can do something about this. So very, very unconventionally, we added even this eye testing and providing them with good quality spectacles under our business development services. What I am trying to say is, unless we actually go and sit with them in different sessions, session after session, we cannot really understand what is the business development service requirement of the clusters. Doing something, making a study and then prescribing certain policy prescriptions is easy. But I can for sure tell that I Am Khadi is doing this. Yes, is working very hard towards this, but we need many more such efforts, and we need to understand what we can do, those small little things. Of course, we did other business development service interventions, but this also we included, this unconventional thing, business development service, we added in our intervention. Recently, we are also working since last 1.5 years in the Madam talked about ICAT, the ICAT cluster. You must have heard about the Sambalpuri saris and all. that happens in the Bargarh district. It was part of undivided Sambalpur district in western Odisha. Ikat or Sambalpuri Ikat is very, very famous there. We also discussed in detail with the artisans, the weavers. And what is that the requirement? You see, what happens is when you deep dive into the problems, you see, we talk about enhancing the, I think a few years ago, we were talking about doubling the farmer's income, and now people are talking about doubling the weaver's income. But how do you do it? See, what happens is selling absolutely is not an issue in the Bargarh cluster or in the Sambalpuri Cup. It sells like hotcakes. So what is the issue? How do you increase the income? Then you deep dive and see that most of the sales are happening locally or at the max domestically within the country. So 70 to 80% of their sales are local sales. So they are happy whatever they produce is sold. So in this case, how do you increase their income is by making certain interventions, design interventions as per the taste of the modern market. But then they will produce, if you give them design, they will produce, then if it is not sold, what happens? So the issue is not that simple. At the same time, it's not that difficult also to overcome. So this is one of the points. Then second, the people, they might have invested, let's say for example, 15 days or 20 days in making a sari. But when it comes to product costing, how do they arrive at the cost of a product? They do not know. They just, whatever comes to their mind, I got for 15 days or 20 days, so it should be like this. So they do not follow any scientific method of product costing. Then these days we are talking about, everybody is coming on digital platforms because technology is a great leveler. If we have to actually do something, it has to be technology, and I am happy the today's events, this today's event will also discuss about the blockchain, GI tagging, etc. So that will happen, but at the same time, at the cluster level, when we are talking about increasing their income can only increase if their percentage of the local sales is reduced and the percentage of the sales in other places increase. Because today if 70 to 80% of the Sambalpuri saris are sold within the Orissa or in the adjoining states, then people are accustomed to pay a particular price. So the weaver will continue to get what he is getting. So we have to see that their products reach is expanded, the outreach is extended to other geographies. And how do you do it? It is technology. Today, many of you might have heard about the new platform called ONDC. This ONDC platform is democratization of digital commerce. So when somebody gets into say Amazon or Flipkart, you get access to just one site, and possibly in some cases, like the people pay some money for search engine optimization. Similar thing happens in the companies which possibly can afford more discount or commission to the digital commerce platforms, so their visibility will be more. So how do you do that? Government of India, in order to alleviate this problem and to give access to especially the micro entrepreneurs, the artisans, the weavers, has come out with this ONDC platform, Open Network Digital Commerce Platform, that will be democratizing digital commerce and everybody can access it. We are also betting big on this. In fact, we are a big equity investor in the ONDC platform, and we are also trying how we can help these people. So if at all they have to go there, they don't have the capacity. They can't, you need to do cataloging, you need to prepare a brochure, all those things are there. So whether they have the capacity to do that, they don't have. So if we are talking about increasing the income, it is not just blockchain or something. You have to see that the products outreach is expanded, and we can expand that only through intervention of technology. With those things in mind, we have entered into an MOU with the IIM Sambalpur, and we are churning out the necessary business development services along with our partners KPMG, IIM Sambalpur, and local the master craftsmen who have been recognized nationally. So we have onboarded all the stakeholders, and then only a mass movement kind of thing will happen. Everybody will be involved and they can own the intervention. See, after 2 years or 3 years, what happens in most interventions? When you exit the intervention, then normally it ends there. But if you create an ownership of the intervention in the cluster and they see value in it, then they also will take them forward. We don't have to handhold and spoon feed them for years together. Intervene for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and gradually come out of it and let the stakeholders take it forward because they see value in it. So those kind of interventions are happening. And again, I will share with you possibly food for thought for organizations like I Am Khadi. Recently, I came across two clusters where there are just 20 to 30 surviving weavers. It's I'm just forgetting the name. It is in Varuch in Gujarat. What is that? I'm forgetting. And the similar another is Hebrew cluster somewhere in near Kolhapur. One in Maharashtra and one in Gujarat. So some of the traditional art forms of our weavers is at the footsteps of getting extincted. It is facing extinction. Whether we can rediscover those kind of art forms or weaving forms and do something about it, so those arts are not lost forever. So we are also trying to do something under some project of ours, and we came to know about one the Bharuch cluster because it is in Gujarat. We came to know about it during some different discussion with a professor of IIM Ahmedabad who is very passionate about the artisans. So we immediately picked it up and thought possibly let's do something about it. We can't allow such good art forms to die forever. So this is a food for thought for specifically you. If you can pick up some of these clusters and do something about it, then possibly we also see if we can get associated in any form. So definitely, while we talk of taking our increasing our weavers' income by 100% through digital interventions, we must also keep in mind the actual problems that is faced on the ground by the weavers, by the artisans, and see what kind of interventions will be befitting to their needs. Actually, we have to tailor make the needs rather than thrusting some of our own thoughts on them. So then only they can accept it, own it up, take it forward. So with these thoughts, thank you the organizers very much for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you.